In this video, I will be talking about two different paintings that were created in between the 19th and 20th century. In this first piece, created by Jacob Lawrence, it's titled Blind Beggars. Lawrence was born on September 7, 1917 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. At 2 years old, Lawrence moved with his parents to Pennsylvania, but after his parents got divorced, his mother sent him and two of his siblings to foster care. She did that so she was able to look for work and be able to maintain them later on in their life. After his mom was able to settle again, Lawrence and his siblings were reunited with her, but at age 13. Lawrence's mom was a reason why he got involved in art. In 1937, Lawrence won a scholarship to the American Artists School in New York. He later then graduated and continued pursuing his dream of becoming an artist. He was also a professor of art at the University of Washington for 15 years. Throughout his journey, Lawrence developed his own style of art and began creating narrative series by painting 30 or more drawings on one subject. That's when he created his best-known series titled Migration of the Negro, or the Migration series. Lawrence's series was then published at the Edith Halbert Downtown Gallery in 1942. That's when Lawrence became the first African American to join the gallery. He was known for producing narrative collections and illustrating the African American experience using lucid colors that were painted against black and brown figures. Now, back to his art piece. In this drawing, there is a visually impaired couple walking down a sidewalk of a neighborhood surrounded by 6 kids that seem to be jumping, dancing, and having fun. This drawing was drawn on a paper-covered board with tempera paints. This kind of paint dries quickly and tends to give out a flat, matte surface look. The lines in this drawing aren't 100% straight, but they give the picture a visual of a close-up just by the wide sidewalk and the low 2-story buildings. I believe the straight lines on the buildings and the windows create a still look so we can focus more on the people walking down the sidewalk. Their curvy shoulders, their circular heads, and the round hairstyle is what gives the image a better focus point. Then, we have the background color. The color seems to be more on the darker side, and the people's clothes are more on the brighter end. The color visual helps us bring our attention to what the artist wants us to focus more on. Lawrence drew this piece of art to express the characteristic concern for social issues. On to our next work of art. Here's a drawing created by Gerald Sekoto titled Song of the Pig. Gerald Sekoto was born on December 9, 1913 in Botshabelo, South Africa. He was recognized as a pioneer of urban black art and social realism. His work was shown in different locations such as Paris, Stockholm, Venice, Washington, and Senegal, as well as in South Africa. Sekoto spent most of his childhood on a farm named Windhoek. His dad was a priest and a teacher at their local school in South Africa. Later on in life, Sekoto started molding clay from a riverbed and drawing art pieces using chalk from the school. When Sekoto grew up, he became a teacher and one day discovered colored pencils. He then started making more art designs that one day he was awarded first prize for designing a badge for the school blazer. Little by little, Sekoto kept creating art pieces, and because he met the artists Ernest Monkoba and Nimrod Ndebele, he learned a lot from them. His artwork eventually blossomed, and in 1939 is when Sekoto grew bigger and started being known. He traveled a lot to different places, and wherever he went, he continued his work of art. Aside from becoming an artist, Sekoto also became a musician. In his drawing, Song of the Pig, it shows 9 people holding some sort of pole or stick, and they are being looked at or watched by one individual. The individual seems to be wearing a cowboy hat, chilling with his hands in his pockets. The 9 people who seem to be digging or working hard have their ankles buried under what looks like snow. They all look pretty in sync at what they're doing. The lines that create the 9 people digging look very sharp compared to the man standing across from them, whose lines are a little bit more blurry and bulky. Their arms are sharp, the object they have on their hands is sharp, their right leg is also sharp, and I feel like that gives us an image of punctuality. The artist seems to want to catch our attention towards the 9 men, but also want us to acknowledge the one individual across from them because the background of that individual seems pretty bright. Even if there's 9 men working, the center point focuses a lot on the first worker closest to the right and the man with his hands in his pocket. Since the artist drew his drawings according to real socio-political conditions of the working class, then I believe the drawing is trying to show us how big slavery was in the 19th century. I chose these 2 pieces of art because they can relate to each other and because of everything that is going on in our current world today. I believe both of these drawings give out a strong message of culture and ethnicity. It was known that back then, people of color were different and they didn't have much freedom. The artists that I chose are inspiring to me and to today's society because of the message they are making across. How 2 blind people can manage to have happy, cheerful kids without being titled as different, or how 9 hardworking colored men can't compare to the white individual who is just standing there. Overall, the art pieces were created to bring a message across, from the different lines to the different shades and even the color choices. Lawrence and Takoto's artwork was drawn with a meaning to catch the eye of their audience. They did that with me, and I hope you see their hard work as well.